So in the previous class we have discussed regarding the plasticizer. So now in this class is the extent of the plasticizer, which is nothing but your super plasticizers. Okay, super plasticizers. So the super plasticizer, so this is a completely constitute a new category of an improved version of plasticizers. Okay, that means they are the improved version they are the improved version of your plasticizer, which was actually developed in Japan in 1960 and 1970. It was developed in Japan in 1960s. Okay, 1960s. So use of the super plasticizer permit the reduction of water to the extent of 30%. Okay, so in the previous case, in the plasticizer, the reduction of water was about 15 to 20%. Okay, now in the case of super plasticizer, we can reduce the water content from 25 to 30%. Okay, so water content reduction is about 25 to 30%. Okay, without reducing the, now this can be achieved even without reducing workability. Okay, so what we can do by the use of this super plasticizer, we can reduce the water content for about 25 to 30% without even compromising with the workability of your concrete. So the main concern with reduction of water content is water cement ratio is the concern with workability. Okay, if you somehow can manage the workability by reducing the water cement ratio, that is a very good thing for the concrete. As far as the concrete is concerned, that can be achieved by the help of super plasticizer. What we can do, we can reduce the content of water for about 25 to 30%. Okay, now because of this reason, super plasticizer is used in production of flowing, self-healing, self-compacting, and for the production of high strength and high performance concrete. Now because of this property, what we can use, we can make use of this super plasticizer in the use of production of flowing, self-healing, self-compacting and for the production of high strength and high performance concrete. Now we will discuss these self-healing, flowing, self-compacting in concretes in the upcoming classes. But for now, what we can understand here, by the use of these superplasticizer, it is very helpful for us to produce self-healing, self-compacting and the production of high performance and high strength concrete. Now the mechanism of superplasticizer and plasticizer and superplasticizer mechanism is almost same. Okay, so mechanism of your plasticizer and superplasticizers is almost same. What used to happen, we have discussed in the previous class, without the use of this superplasticizer, we had the flocculations formed which entrapped the water in it. Okay, so this is your unused water. Now what happens when we use the plasticizer or superplasticizer, it forms a thin layer over cement particles, cement grains. Okay, so because of that cement grain, there is a particle to particle repulsion between the cement grains. Okay, which is why the entrapped air is now free for the hydration process. This is the mechanism. Okay, for hydration process. Now this, because of the complete use of water, the water cement ratio automatically reduces. Workability can be obtained by a lesser water cement ratio. Okay, so this is the mechanism. The mechanism is almost same for superplasticizer as well as for the plasticizer. Now the extent of use, because of the superplasticizer, we could produce the water cement ratio of concrete of 0.25. Because of superplasticizer, it is possible for us to produce a water cement ratio of 0.25, which in turn has allowed us to produce a concrete of strength 120 megapascal. Can you imagine this? Okay, because of this superplasticizer, it has been possible for us to produce a concrete of water cement ratio to 0.25, and because of this extent, what we can do, we can develop a concrete of strength 120 megapascal. Okay, now there are certain points that we need to understand as far as the superplasticizer is concerned. Okay, so generally it's just nothing but just a summary of superplasticizer. Superplasticizer can produce, okay, first one, at the same water cement ratio, much more workable concrete than plain concrete. This is a self-explanatory point wherein we have discussed in the previous slide how the entrapped water is released because of the superplasticizer or plasticizer. Okay, there is a film is formed around the cement grains which produces particle to particle repulsive force. Thereby what will happen is formation of flocculations is reduced, which in turn reduces the entrapped air. That means the amount of water available for the process of hydration is much more. Okay, so at the same water cement ratio, what we can do, we can produce much more workable concrete than the plain concrete. Contrary to in other words, what we can say, for the same workability, it permits lower water cement ratio. Okay, Now the third one is as a consequence of increased strength with lower water cement ratio, it also permits reduction of cement content. Reduction of cement content. Okay, so the what are the points here? What we can do, at the same water cement ratio, much more workable concrete can be produced than this plain concrete. For the same workability, it permits a lower water cement ratio. As a consequence of increased strength with lower water cement ratio, what we can also do is it also permits the reduction of cement content, because we are getting the higher strength at lower water cement ratio. What we can do, we can reduce the content of the cement. Okay, so these are the certain uses of your plasticizer. Now one thing we need to understand here, what is the optimum dosage of super plasticizer or plasticizer, super plasticizer slash plasticizer. Okay, that means how much of super plasticizer or plasticizer we need to use. Okay, in order to determine this, we have got a test called as Marsh cone test. Very important. Okay, so Marsh cone test. Okay, now what we can do here, what we can determine is what is the quantity, how much quantity of super plasticizer or plasticizer we can use. We can use to get the maximum results. Okay, by the use of Marsh cone test. Okay, just test is very simple. We have a Marsh cone apparatus here. Okay, so the Marsh cone apparatus. Okay, so we have a conical flask here, conical, so this is called as conical brass vessel. Okay, so at the bottom we have a diameter of 5 mm. Okay, at the bottom what we have got a diameter of 5 mm. Now what we need to do here, for the you see, the optimum dosage is a very varying quantity here. Okay, that means for a different brand of cement, okay, for Ultratech, for ACC, for whatever type of cement you use, the optimum dosage will vary. Okay, because of the characteristics of cement. Okay, and for different water cement ratio, the Marsh cone test will the optimum dosage of your super plasticizer or plasticizer will differ. Okay, now this the test is conducted for a particular type of cement, and the optimum dosage is determined for that particular type of cement and for the particular water cement ratio. Okay, so with this idea in mind, so let us discuss what is this Marsh cone test. Okay, to conduct this test, what we need, first is take 2 kg of cement, and 1 liter of water. Okay, so when you mix these two, what will happen, water cement ratio of how much, 0.5 is obtained. Okay, now let us say, now what we do is we will add 0.1% of super plasticizer. While producing a concrete mix, what we will do, we will add 0.1% by the dosage of 0.1% of super plasticizer. Okay, now after doing that, mix them. Second point is mix them thoroughly in a mechanical mixer. okay, in a mechanical mixer. Now after mixing this, take 1 liter of slurry, 1 liter of slurry, okay, 1 liter of slurry, and pour it into marsh cone, duly closing the aperture with a finger. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to take 1 liter of slurry prepared by this mixture here. So we have to pour this 1 liter of slurry by closing this aperture with your finger, with the finger. Okay, so that means 1 liter of slurry is introduced, but slurry is not allowed to flow down. Slurry is not allowed to flow down by using the finger. Okay, now after doing that, what we need to do, we need to take a stopwatch. Okay, we need to start a stopwatch and remove the finger simultaneously. Start the stopwatch and remove the finger simultaneously. Okay, so after doing that, the slurry will flow down. Okay, so what we need to do in that situation, find the time taken in seconds. Okay, find the time taken in seconds for what? For complete flow out of the slurry. Okay, the time taken in second, we have to find the time taken in second for complete flow out of the slurry. That means what we are doing, we are removing the finger which is holding the slurry in the conical flask, and also we are starting the stopwatch simultaneously. Now what will happen, slurry will flow down from the vessel. Okay, what we need to calculate, we need to calculate the time taken for the slurry to completely flow down. Okay, this time is called as marsh cone time. This time, marsh cone time. Okay, so now what we have done is we have completed the test. Now what we need to do, we need to repeat the test. Repeat the test with different dosage of plasticizer or super plasticizer. Okay, different dosage of plasticizer or super plasticizer. For example, in the first test, what we have taken 0.1% of your plasticizer and super plasticizer. For the next test, just take 0.2%. Similarly, keep on increasing the result, increasing the dosage of the super plasticizer. Okay, so for each and every dosage, what we will get a different marsh cone time. Okay, then a graph is plotted, the dosage of super plasticizer or plasticizer, here marsh cone time. Okay, so for example 40, 50, this is in seconds, right? 70, 80, 90, 100, like this, 110. Here we have a dosage of 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, like that. Okay, now according to the graph, what will happen, marsh cone time will So for different dosage of superplasticizer, we will have a different Marsh-Cohn time. Okay, so for different dosage of superplasticizer, we will have different Marsh-Cohn time. Okay, now the optimum, the lowest time in seconds is obtained at a particular point. This point is called as saturation point. That means as you increase the dosage of superplasticizer or plasticizer, Marsh-Cohn time reduces. For a particular dosage, it will have a lowest what you call Marsh-Cohn time. Okay, after the increase, after this point, after saturation point, even if you increase the dosage of superplasticizer, there will not be much difference in the reduction in the Marsh-Cohn time. Are you getting my point? Okay, so as you are increasing the dosage of superplasticizer, Marsh-Cohn time is getting reduced. Okay, at a particular location, there will be a point where you will have a minimum Marsh-Cohn time. Okay, after that point, that is called as saturation point. After the saturation point, even if you increase the dosage of superplasticizer, there will not be any much difference in the reduction of Marsh-Cohn time. Okay, this time is called as saturation time. Okay, the dose is the dose is the optimum dose for that brand of cement and plasticizer for that water cement ratio. Okay, so this is regarding the Marsh-Cohn time and